This is a hot minute. We're going to look at the Dow Jones Transportation Index, which is ready to pop. And we'll look at some examples of other stocks, specifically United, Southwest, Expeditors, and Car, as some stocks that really are showing nice patterns. It's not all of them. There are many good stocks in this particular sector. Let's take a look. We'll switch over to the Dow Jones Transportation Average. This is our cycle analysis on that. For those that are new, these are cycle brackets on the bottom. It's just a drawing tool to help us understand the conditions of the market and the rhythms between the important cyclical troughs. That's what we look at. And you can see in here a positive cycle sets up another positive cycle, sets up another positive cycle. But this one came down over here and equaled and just took out the low. It said the next rally would fail in the sell zone, and it did. And you had another negative cycle condition. And here you could see a positive cycle. We call this a basing cycle that's formed after the decline. We had a head and shoulders top, but it didn't quite make the downside measurement in there. And these ovals really give you a sense, as we want you to understand, when you are entering a declining phase, or when they would likely be moving to the downside in a correction, or when a rising phase is on and beginning. You can see that right here and here and here, those rising phases, and the declining phases are the yellow ones right in here. And you can see right over here, the declining phase brought that decline, and now we're entering into a positive phase right over there. Take a closer look. You can see in here this basing cycle, and now this positive phase. Because this is a positive shape, it's very likely to get above that high at that major 61.8% level right over there. So we're looking for at least 15,840 and potentially all the way up over here to 16,900. This is very bullish. Let's look quickly at 4 examples of stocks that are positive in this group. Let's look at a couple of airline stocks. United Airlines right in here. And let me just get that drawing up there, and you can see in here, it made its low there and is rising, moving up through resistances here. Right over here, the target is at around 51.80, and this is 54.80. Very likely it's going to get up to those levels. Very positive pattern right over there. Let's look at Southwest. This one, LUV, has really been a laggard in here, and you could see these cycle rhythms, and it is just now starting to turn up over here. I have this showing you what's called a VTL, a valid trend line. It connects the important cyclical peaks, and you can see there, as I take right over here, it needs to get up over this level, which is at around 32.60, and that will get you a upward surge. We're looking for really a minimum here of about 35.70, which would be a nice percentage gain in Southwest, just bottoming right now, entering into that rising phase. Looks really good. A couple more, EXPD, which is Expeditors in this transportation freight category. Let me just bring up this drawing right here, and you can see there is a very beautiful cycle configuration, very likely to get above that high at 120. The first extension is 123.70 and then 129. All of those positive and very possible in this very positive cyclical pattern we see. And CAR, which is Avis Budget, this is just amazing. Of course, it had that huge pop-up over there and has been in this massive consolidation. You can see that. If it gets out above this area of around 222, it's going to break out. We're projecting potentially up into the 300 category. This is a very, very bullish pattern, as it now has turned into a positively configured cycle. That's this one right over here, bottoming above where it started, and there it is, that downward trend line right there, that if it gets above there, look for a big pop. That's an example of the Dow Jones Transportation Index and 4 stocks that are in it, and looking good. I'm talking about a rotation in the stock market where the NASDAQ stalls and other stocks take off. This is a group that can be one of those groups that has stocks that can move sharply to the upside. That's my hot minute in the transportation average. I hope you loved it. Let me know.